yeah. Who is the immigrant? If we are living in the same land, sharing the same sun. Who is the immigrant?
And now we welcome to Impact Mr. Tony Tambi. Tony Tambi is a Nigerian-born, Cameroon-raised, US-based actor and filmmaker. Living the Hollywood dream, Tony received an NAACP Theatre Award Nomination for playing the character Monday in The Godbotherers. Some of his other plays include the critically acclaimed world premiere Butterflies of Uganda, A Providential Occurrence, Saturday Night at the Palace, and most recently, Somewhere in the Middle. His first TV credit was a co-starring role on The Unit, followed by other appearances on Scrubs, NCIS Los Angeles, and a recurring role on Nip Tuck. After various starring and supporting roles in numerous films, Tony co-wrote, directed, produced, and starred in the short film Chapter 1. It went on to play at various festivals nationwide, culminating in multiple airings on PBS KCVR as part of its Shorts Showcase Festival. His screenwriting debut, Letter from the President, was one of the 8 projects selected to join Forest Whitaker's Junto Box inaugural feature film incubator program in 2014. Tony's first instinct as a writer is to tell smart, diverse, and thought-provoking stories that offer a different perspective of the African immigrant experience. Tony, welcome to the show.
It's a pleasure to be here.
But your story is so compelling and interesting. You're Nigerian-born and raised in Cameroon. So why are you here in the United States?
You know, that's a question that immigrants don't need to answer. You just, because America's the best. You come here.
Okay.
I mean, they say anything is possible here.
Yes.
And this is where you want to continue. You come here for opportunities, pretty much.
Okay, so you came here for opportunities. So
Yes.
the typical African family reveres more traditional careers like being a doctor,
Yes.
being a lawyer,
Yes.
being all of that. Why did you choose filmmaking?
You know, I have to blame my parents. Growing up in Nigeria, my mom took me to this play, The Gods Are Not to Blame by Ola
Yes.
Rotimi.
I remember.
And I
it.
remember watching it, and I was just blown away by the performances, by the story.
Yes.
And even as a kid, when my dad would take us to go rent movies, he made us understand, okay, who's in this movie? Like, we got to know who a movie star was, or, oh, this guy's not a good actor, we're not going to rent this one. So I fell in love with it. But I never had the courage to pursue my dreams until I got to the U.S. and decided, you know what?
You found out that there were possibilities that you could actually do this thing.
Yes. Yes.
And that's just what's really amazing about being here in the United States. Now, you know the Hollywood dream can be just a dream. And so we have to balance. And I know you balance a lot of things. What's your advice? How do you balance surviving and pursuing your passion?
One, you have to start by being honest with yourself. Like,
Right.
Are you talented enough? If you're not talented enough, am I in classes? Am I working to get better?
Okay.
Every year you have to take stock. Like, did I get better this year? Did I improve this year?
Yes.
Am I the only one who thinks I'm good? And it's not just about your friends and family thinking, because your friends and family will always be supportive.
I mean, most people call you banderas.
Yes, they'll be nice. They're like, oh, that's a Hollywood star, you know. Yes, you know. But you have to see what other people out of your immediate circle think
Yes.
about you, and you also, again, it starts with you. You have to be honest with yourself. Am I getting better? Compare yourself to others, even though they
Yes.
say we shouldn't compare. But you have to say, well, he came here, he's been doing this, this led to this. Has that led to this for me?
Absolutely.
Yeah, but you have to keep taking
So
stock. Am I
healthy
getting better?
competition. You have to have a
Yes,
healthy
yes,
competition.
yeah.
As Africans in the industry, in the Hollywood industry, we don't hear that much. We can name a few. And most of those we can name are not really authentically Africa. They're like
the
coming from the
British- the
UK.
British Africans.
Do you get sick of that? And does that take away opportunities from authentic, and I'm going to call it authentic, like from the motherland?
So yes and no, because they're not really Africans like me, or like
They don't have your
many
accent.
of us. Yeah, they don't have our accent, you know. So they're like, oh, the African playing. And I'm like, nah, not really. But I feel that Africans just deserve a lot more opportunities. Unfortunately, I call us a minority of a minority. Because when people think of minorities, they're like, oh, let's get more blacks in, you know. And okay, yeah, but there's the blacks, but there's a subset of the blacks.
Subset of the subset of the
yeah,
subset.
and that's us. And we just keep getting lost in that mix, in that shuffle.
So how do you overcome that?
So a bunch of things. One, training. You have to be good, because that's one thing you have to do as an immigrant. When you're coming here, you're facing competition from a lot of people. So the U.S. is about excellence. They love things being good. They love
Yes.
things being the best. They have their award ceremonies. They want to have all the gold medals at the Olympics. So you have to make sure that as an actor or whatever career you're in, you have to be one of the best at what you're doing.
And to do that, you have also created your own works. Tell me about
You have to create your own
something.
work
I know you
because
had this
people
series.
can't tell your stories for you. You have to
Yes.
tell your own stories. So yes, I created a web series called Consequences, and it's about reformed internet scammers who reinvent their old business. This time, only targeting bad people. You know, internet scamming is something that Africans unfortunately are associated with, and so now what I did was combine that with the con genre. Like people love movies like Ocean's 11 and the like. So combine those two to create what I call the intelligent African characters that you don't normally see in most Hollywood and TV productions, because I just felt that we have to show a different side of our immigrant experience compared to what is typically shown.
So would that say you're glamorizing the 419, as it's called?
Oh, no, definitely not. Definitely not. In the show, we make it quite clear that the characters saw the error of their ways.
Okay.
And they're using the skills they learned as internet scammers for good.
Oh,
And
okay.
everything they do is to give back to someone else. So there's the whole Robin Hood aspect.
That's interesting.
So internet scamming with the con genre, and we're throwing in the Robin Hood aspect because there's no way in which 419 and internet scamming is good. You should not. It's not anything someone
So there are
should be doing.
consequences.
There are consequences. It's all about, like, it's a play on the title, like the sequences of a con and also the consequences of our actions.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, that's your work, and I want our listeners to find out how can they find Consequences.
Consequences. All our episodes are available on Facebook. Just type in Consequences web series. Also on YouTube, Consequences web series, or you could type in Tony Tambi. And we have an amazing cast: Bambajan Bamba, Constance Ajuma, Ebony Adams, and John Teg, and Tony Okungbo. It's a really, really cool cast of people we have. But we're on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram.
Yeah, you're a man of few words, but you say very important things, and I like that.
Thank you.
So, so give us one, a message to our Hollywood African and other immigrants who are aspiring. What's the secret to the longevity?
Well, honesty. And if I don't, maybe not honesty, but awareness of yourself, but also start going right away. If this is what you want to do, get into it right now and start learning. That's the one thing I regret. When I moved to the U.S., I went to college for accounting. I have an accounting degree, which I don't use.
Which you don't use.
And I felt that that's 4 years of my life, which, yes, I have a college degree and it's great, but it would have been better to get into what you love doing, get into what you're passionate about, learn as much as possible as you can about it, and just get going in there. Experience. Experience has never hurt anybody.
I knew I'd get something really good for the audience, and that was that. Don't waste your time doing things that you're not passionate about and that you're not going to use, right?
Get in right away. Get in right away. Start figuring out the business. Learn how to make money in the business, because it's not a career or a profession unless you make money.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So if you're just acting and doing this or that, it's a hobby until you start making money. You have to figure out how to make money. That's how you become successful.
So let your hobby become your money maker.
Yes.
On that note, I want to thank you for coming to the show. It's been awesome. And we hope you come back.
I would love to come back. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. And this is Impact with Pamela Anchang on KPFK 90.7 FM. And we have come to the end of our show, Impact. If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe and tune in for our next edition.